move you over there a bit.
Next to this piece of paper.
A bit further forward.
Paper's in one place.
Smashing. Lovely. Are you ready, Neil?
Can you see?
Yep. Are you ready?
Sure.
You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm good. Yeah, my name's Neil. I've been working just 25 years now. I've just passed that milestone, and I've had 7 jobs, and I'm now looking for my 8th. So I thought I was well qualified to give you some tips and stories on job hunting. Sometimes you get fired, and I did think this was a good idea. You know, when we're downsizing, perhaps we should just put it to the vote. Don't let the managers do it. Actually, let the lower down tiers actually fire the boss. Right, said Fred. I'm off. And beheading is not allowed anymore, which is a pity because there's a few bankers out there that we could do with beheading, but we just take away their knighthood and tell them to piss off. Yeah, jobs. If you're looking for any jobs, there are jobs in jeopardy. That's an old one. And perhaps there's in addition to jobs in jeopardy, you need people who have got the staying power. So the most famous job seeker, Yosser Hughes. It was tough in the 80s. I remember in the 80s I had the YTS scheme. You got an extra £10 a week for working 40 hours. Sod that. And then of course we got the great bit of advice from John Major. Get on your bike, go find a job. And Tony said, yeah, get on your bike, John. And off he went. So, and they've gone on to great things, they're making more money as consultants. So I did get on my bike, and I moved from the west of Scotland to the east of Scotland, and within a week I got a job, and that was great, and that was the start of my 25 years of working. So, yeah, time and place. One of the first things I really learned when I went to this, it was a construction site, a crappy old porter cabin. All the guys were in the paper looking for new jobs, and I thought, I'm trying to get in here and you're trying to leave. It was like every Thursday the Daily Telegraph, they were looking for jobs. And I thought, have I come to the wrong place? Oh, practical joke, we wrote a letter to Paul in the office saying he'd got this job in Singapore. And we put a post-it on his desk and he had to call this number. It was one of those very early sex chat lines. One of the worst job invites I ever got was a scrappy piece of paper. That's supposed to be tatty handwriting, the thing hasn't happened. But it came from Dixon's, it was a tatty piece of paper in a tatty envelope. I thought it was a joke. Another job hunting experience, I was walking up the dual carriageway to a sort of industrial estate, to a hotel, and looking for jobs in hotels and Toys R Us and stuff like that. And I come across a guy cutting the grass and I said, "Here's a job," and he didn't. So, I can cut grass. I've done loads of grass cutting. Down in sort of like the 90s and whatnot, you built a real good relationship with an agent, a couple of sort of employment agencies, and they knew what you were looking for, and they filtered all the crap. And the job centre is probably the last place you'd look for a job. By definition, once you found a job, you wouldn't go looking anymore. So I suppose it's a bit like when you're finding something, you wouldn't. That's the last place I'd find that. Bit of advice, networking's really good. A friend of mine, Nigel, he earns a decent amount of money, and he's nearly always headhunted, and the interview happens in the pub. There's usually more than one beer, but he makes a great success of that. Oh, I applied to the Foreign Office. James Bond could never ever get a job. Trust me, it is so long-winded to get a job at the Foreign Office. You've got to do all these things. And her name really was Dottie. And it was lovely. If it was handwriting in the emails, it would have been beautiful. And I wondered if it was Moneypenny was her surname. Bog off, buy one, get one free. Current job I've got. I applied for the upper one because the bottom one had been filled apparently. So got the upper one, that's fine. And oh crikey, Melon, you've got to do that. You've got to do it yourself now. It's all Google this and Google that and junk jobs coming in through your email. It'll come, won't it? Sure. Oh man. Space and time doesn't last the same. Of course you can always make a job out of helping people find jobs. I mean that's the way. Perhaps Yosser Hughes should have done it. Sell a book. That would be the one way to help people find a job. And then of course you've got the job. Yes, result. Well I'm not so lucky at the moment. You've got to widen your search criteria. You could do anything. I'm sort of looking for a job overseas. I don't know. Got to find a home for the cat and the dog. That's the problem. But yeah, no, I don't mind the overseas idea. Then of course you get a job and then you find out who the boss is. And you know, you get that CV back out there and you get started applying again because you've just found out who your boss is. That's it, you're hired. Yeah, hopefully one day. Oh, I didn't get the job today. Great.